Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Kurt. I am also known as Muldrake. It's Rmuldrake. Today I'm talking Lower Decks. Lower Decks, Season 3, Episode 2, The Least Dangerous Game. This episode I'm going to find difficult to talk about because I think it was a perfectly acceptable and good episode. I would say it's fairly average in my opinion. I think it had some interesting moments, but overall there's not a lot really that I can think of to talk about with this one. There was plenty of, and I'm sure there will be, Easter eggs within this episode for a lot of people to take up, and it felt like there was a bit more work in the first episode, and this is fairly straightforward. This one has Boimler turning into Bald Boimler, which was a good gag. I thought it was interesting that they used the aspects of around the Martok game, which totally took me back to Atmosphere. There was a VHS game, but certainly in the UK anyway, and it was called Atmosphere, and it was a VHS video which had timestamps going through the show.
You want to play the game? My game.
I used to play those as a kid. I must have played maybe not loads. I was into the Ian Livingstone books, which were the books where you would have to turn a page and you would roll a dice, and if you hit a 6, you would then turn to page 32, and 32 would have a next part of the story, and then it would ask you to roll another dice and things like that. And Atmosphere was kind of the next evolution of that in VHS world. And Martok even mentions in this one about the expansion packs for Gowron and things, which I thought was a nice touch. I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons player. Never played anything like that at all. No role playing games as such other than Atmosphere. So I'm not the best equipped to talk about them. But I thought that that featured was quite good. It worked for the episode and the theme of the episode, and the fact that Boimler is now Bald Boimler is good. I thought the hunt that Boimler had to say yes to, because his new plan is to say yes to everything, which Tendi points out is a plan, which I thought was good. And I think it was Vendom had gone to is now the captain of the Inglewood, and that there's the catalyst for Boimler to do the things that he's doing here, and it'll be interesting to see if that permeates throughout the season as well. That are we going to see Bald Boimler for the rest of this season? I thought it was good. I thought, and even like sort of the aspects of like sort of trying something new for Boimler. I'm sure that we've all been in that situation where you're quite apprehensive about doing something new, and then that new thing turns into something else. And I liked it that way. That had that causal link in there where Boimler is screaming and ends up being a soprano, and then from there he moves on to something else. And I thought that was good. That was good characterization, and without being amazing, I thought was probably the best part of the episode. I thought the Boimler stuff was definitely the best part of this episode. The other side of it was Mariner and Ransom. So continuing on from last week, we've got Ransom looking after Mariner in this, and I don't think that landed as well as it could have. I did like the 2009 skydive. I thought that was a nice touch, especially given that she has to climb back up the stairs. I thought that was really, really good. But the idea that Ransom would do that is intriguing to me, that he would send Billups down with Rutherford down to the planet, and that seems to me a little bit frivolous. And whether or not he was proven a point or not, that is up for debate. But it felt to me a little bit forced that I wasn't quite as convinced as I might have been. The Billups and Rutherford story had allusions to the episode of The Next Generation called Justice, and maybe a little bit When the Bell Breaks as well, from season 1 of The Next Generation, where Wesley in Justice, I think, does it break a greenhouse glass? I think I want to say steps on the grass, but I don't think that's the case. Is it? I think he breaks something, pretty much like a greenhouse shrubbery or something like that. And Picard has to get involved. And there was allusions to that in a bit with the whole belly button and then saying that Billups is an outie, which was that was funny. I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that. But having this world of well-being as well. Actually, watching it, I had a conversation recently actually at work, and it instantly reminded me of this because we are looking at well-being at work, and I thought that was personally quite funny in the conversations I've had recently about well-being and about how people are wanting to get into that world, especially coming into the new year, and what we're going to do about it. So I thought that was interesting, and the fact that they've got a psychic baby and a computer, that there's two things that are joined together, and I'm sure people will pull that apart. But this is just my first reaction to the episode. Tendi, even though she didn't have a lot to do, there was some continuation, taking on Boimler's story, and Tendy's the one that actually pushes Boimler to do the thing that he needs to do. An average episode this time, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week for episode 3 of Lower Decks.